John was a single dad working long hours to take care of his little daughter Lily. He cleaned floors in a massive interstellar company building, shining the corridors, pushing his mop, and trying to earn enough credits to pay rent and bills. Every day felt the same, yet he never complained because for Lily, he would do anything. The company was known for working with alien technologies, secret experiments, and advanced machinery, but for John, it was just a place to clean. He never expected to be part of anything bigger. He just wanted to survive. One evening, as John was pushing his mop near the research labs, he noticed a strange glow coming from a small device left on the floor. The device was shaped like a cube, floating slightly above the ground, and it emitted soft, rhythmic lights. Something about it felt alive. Curious, John reached out and touched the cube, and instantly, images flashed in his mind, symbols, patterns, and sounds he had never heard before. It was confusing, yet strangely familiar. He stumbled back, eyes wide, heart racing. He realized he could understand the strange language in his head. He whispered to himself, "What is this? I can understand it." The words were alien, but he knew their meaning. The cube was sending him a message, telling him about something dangerous approaching Earth, something the executives did not yet know. Meanwhile, a few employees walked by, noticing John staring at the cube. They whispered to each other, "Why is the janitor touching that device?" Some laughed, thinking it was a prank, but John did not hear them. His mind was filled with alien words, shapes, and warnings. John had always felt different from others. He remembered as a child he could sense things before they happened. He never told anyone, fearing they would call him crazy. Now he realized the gift was connected to the universe. It gave him the ability to understand languages no human could. He looked around nervously, the glow of the cube pulsing softly. He felt a strange energy filling the room, as if the building itself was alive. He thought about Lily, imagining her safe at home. He knew he had to act carefully. He could not let anyone misuse this knowledge. Suddenly, a voice came from the shadows. "I see you found it." It was faint, almost mechanical. But John could understand it perfectly. The voice belonged to the cube. It spoke directly to him in fluent alien language, giving him instructions, telling him Earth was in danger. John's hands shook as he tried to remember everything the cube told him. It spoke about ships approaching from the outer galaxy, about experiments humans were doing that could destroy the balance of planets, about a hidden alliance between species that most humans did not know existed. He realized the cube had chosen him, a single dad, a floor cleaner, someone overlooked by society, to be the messenger, to warn humanity. John felt fear. He had no experience dealing with aliens, no power, no position in the company, but he had knowledge, and that was enough for now. As he stepped back, he accidentally knocked over a small canister. It rolled across the floor with a soft clang. He froze, hoping no one heard it. The cube's glow flickered as if acknowledging his caution. John whispered, "I have to find a way to tell someone, but who will listen to me?" The night grew darker. The hallways empty, yet the cube seemed to glow brighter near him, filling the space with energy that made his hair stand on end. John felt the weight of responsibility pressing on his shoulders. He had never felt so alive and so terrified at the same time. He sat down on a bench, the cube floating above the floor, pulsing rhythmically, and tried to memorize everything it said. He knew he had limited time. The approaching ships would not wait for humans to prepare. He needed allies. He needed to convince the executives, but they never listened to cleaners. John took a deep breath, wiping sweat from his brow. He knew he had a choice. He could ignore the message and continue his simple life, or he could risk everything to act, to speak to those in power, to use his gift to save Earth. And even though fear gripped his heart, he chose to act. He whispered to himself, "I may just be a janitor, but I will not let this world fall. Not while Lily is out there. Not while humans still have a chance." The cube glowed brighter, as if approving his decision, and John felt a surge of courage, stronger than he had ever felt before. Little did he know, the next day would change everything. Executives would witness something they never imagined. A single dad cleaning floors would speak in fluent alien language, and jaws would drop across the galaxy. His life, and the fate of Earth, would never be the same again. The next morning, John returned to the company building, mop in hand, trying to act normal. But inside, his heart pounded with anticipation. The cube floated beside him in a small, hidden bag, its glow faint but persistent, as if urging him to act quickly. He walked past the executives' offices, hearing their conversations about profits, projects, and mundane plans. Little did they know the real threat was already in their halls, approaching silently beyond the stars, ready to judge humanity. As John reached the main lab, the cube suddenly floated out of his bag, hovering mid-air, pulsing rapidly, sending waves of light across the walls. Alarms in his mind screamed, but he stayed calm, understanding that this was the moment everything would change. A sudden shimmer appeared near the ceiling, like a tear in space. A small alien figure stepped through, its skin translucent with a soft silver glow, eyes enormous and sparkling like distant galaxies. It moved gracefully, barely making a sound, yet John felt its presence in his me. The alien spoke in its language, fast and rhythmic, but John understood every word perfectly, his brain translating effortlessly. John, chosen messenger, humans unaware, danger imminent. Trust only you. The words resonated in his soul, sending chills down his spine. Executives in the room began to notice the strange lights and murmurs, their curiosity turning into panic. One of them shouted, "What is going on in here?" But the alien ignored them, speaking only to John, its voice calm yet urgent. John realized that the cube had prepared him for this encounter. The alien was testing him, assessing whether he was worthy to carry knowledge that could change the future of Earth. He nodded subtly, trying to appear confident despite the fear roaring inside him. The alien motioned toward a holographic display that appeared suddenly in the lab, showing images of massive warships approaching from another galaxy. Their weapons charged, their intent unknown. Humanity was completely unprepared. The executives gasped, some froze in disbelief. John spoke, his voice steady. "They are coming, and they are watching us. I know what they want, and I can communicate with them." The executives stared at him in shock, disbelief painted across their faces, their world turning upside down. One of the top scientists stepped forward, skeptical. "You? A janitor? Speak alien? This is impossible." John ignored the insult, focusing on the alien, who nodded gently, approving his composure. And John felt a surge of confidence, his purpose clear. The alien continued, revealing maps of interstellar routes, showing hidden energy sources and secret planets, pointing out human activities that could trigger galactic conflict. John translated every detail fluently, leaving the executives stunned, some turning pale, others whispering to each other in panic. Suddenly, the alien raised its hat, and, sending a wave of energy that illuminated the entire lab, the walls reflected the stars from other galaxies, and every person in the room could feel a strange vibration in their chest, the power of the universe pressing down on them. John knew this was a test of courage, a test of trust. The alien was showing them that knowledge alone was not enough. Action was required. Only a human with a pure heart and sharp mind could prevent catastrophe. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. He addressed the executives directly. "I am just a janitor, a single dad, but I see what you cannot see. I can speak with them. I can negotiate, but you must trust me and act fast." The room went silent, every eye fixed on him, disbelief turning into cautious hope. The alien extended a glowing appendage toward John, touching his shoulder lightly, filling him with energy, knowledge, and courage. Visions of distant planets, advanced civilizations, and possible futures flashed in his mind, each more incredible than the last. John realized then that this was bigger than him, bigger than the company, bigger than Earth itself. The fate of billions rested in his hands. Yet he felt no fear, only determination. He could not fail, not when so much depended on him. Executives finally whispered among themselves, unsure whether to believe him or call security. But John's calm authority, coupled with the alien's presence, silenced their doubts. He had become the bridge between humans and an advanced species, the first messenger of hope. The alien looked at John one last time, its eyes shimmering like twin stars. "Prepare. They arrive soon. Humans must choose." And then it vanished, leaving a faint trail of silver light, the room quiet except for the stunned breathing of everyone inside. John stood alone, mop forgotten, heart racing, knowing that the next hours would test him in ways no human had ever been tested before. He had a chance to save Earth, to prove that even a single dad cleaning floors could change the fate of the galaxy. The morning sun barely lit the city when John arrived at the company building, heart pounding, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. The cube in his bag seemed to pulse with energy, as if urging him to move faster. Executives were already gathered, whispering anxiously, their expressions a mix of disbelief, fear, and curiosity. John felt their eyes on him as he walked past, yet he held his head high, knowing that this was no longer about cleaning floors, it was about saving Earth. He entered the main lab, and immediately, the holographic display from yesterday flickered to life, showing alien ships approaching at impossible speeds, their formations precise, their weapons advanced. The room trembled slightly, as if acknowledging the presence of unseen forces. One of the senior executives, a tall woman with sharp eyes, pointed at John. "Explain yourself, janitor. How do you know this? Why should we believe you?" Her tone was sharp, demanding, dripping with skepticism, yet John felt calm, confident in the knowledge he had received. John took a deep breath and spoke. "I can speak with them. I know their language. I understand their intentions. If you listen, we can prevent disaster." His voice steady, yet every word carried the weight of the universe. The executives glanced at each other nervously, unsure how to respond. Suddenly, the cube floated out of his bag, spinning slowly, emitting a soft glow, and a voice echoed in the room, clear and alien. "John is our messenger. Trust him, or face consequences." The room fell silent, every heartbeat loud, every thought focused on the single dad who now held the fate of humanity. The executives exchanged worried glances. Some wanted to dismiss him. Some wanted to call security, but John stood firm. "You may not believe me, but if we delay, millions could die. Entire planets could be lost. And this is only the beginning." His words ignited fear and awe in equal measure. A sudden alarm blared, lights flashing, the holographic display showing a new fleet emerging, faster, bigger, more intimidating than the previous one. The alien ships were testing humanity's reaction, measuring courage, intelligence, and readiness. John felt the aliens' presence again, not visible but in his mind, guiding him, teaching him, pushing him to act. He realized that this was the ultimate test, not just for him, but for all humans. The cube had chosen him for this moment, for this challenge. He turned to the executives, eyes blazing. "We have to respond. We must send a message, a signal of intelligence, proof that humanity can communicate, proof that we are ready." Some executives shook their heads, thinking him crazy. Others hesitated, but John's conviction was impossible to ignore. He approached the holographic console, his hands moving instinctively, inputting alien symbols he had never seen before, yet understood perfectly. The display responded, sending a pulse into space, a signal that humans could think, could reason, could negotiate. Suddenly the alien fleet paused, formations shifting, scanning, analyzing. The room trembled as if the ships themselves were present. The executives gasped. Some fell back in awe. John felt a strange calm, knowing he had done exactly what was needed. But the challenge was not over. A new warning flashed on the hologram, showing a massive weapon activating on a distant ship, capable of destroying entire cities. Panic gripped the executives, yet John remained focused, translating the alien data, plotting a solution in his mind. He realized that his role was more than messenger. It was strategist, negotiator, and protector. His knowledge of the alien language gave him insight into their thinking. He had to anticipate their moves, counter threats, and convince both humans and aliens to trust him. A young engineer whispered, "How? How can he do all this?" Another executives. They muttered, "This is impossible. A janitor, leading humanity." Yet John ignored them, eyes fixed on the display, hands moving with precision. Energy flowing through him from the cube. Time seemed to stretch, every second crucial, every decision life or death. John felt the weight of billions on his shoulders, yet he also felt power, the power of knowledge, courage, and humanity united. He knew that he could succeed, if only the humans around him trusted his judgment. Finally, he sent another pulse, more complex, more precise. The alien fleet reacted, halting the activation of the weapon, scanning his signal. John held his breath, waiting for the response, for the fleet to recognize that humans were intelligent, capable, and worthy of negotiation. The executives watched in stunned silence as the display confirmed the fleet's acknowledgement. The tension in the room broke slightly, awe replacing skepticism. John exhaled slowly, realizing that this was only the first battle. The challenge was ongoing, yet humanity had a chance. And in that moment, the single dad cleaning floors became the bridge between worlds. His courage, intelligence, and unique gift, proving that even the most overlooked humans could rise to the greatest challenges. The fate of Earth hanging by a thread, yet slowly, hope igniting. The day had barely begun, yet the tension in the main lab was thick enough to cut with a knife. John stood at the center, surrounded by executives and scientists, the cube hovering beside him, glowing brighter than ever, sending pulses of light across the room. The alien presence felt stronger now, not just a message but an awareness, a consciousness, observing every movement, every thought, every word. John felt it in his chest, a vibration of energy that made his skin tingle and his mind sharp. Suddenly, a holographic map expanded in the room, showing a massive section of the galaxy, planets, fleets, and energy channels interwoven like a cosmic web. The alien voice echoed in John's mind. Humans, unaware, power, destruction, potential. Choose wisely. He translated aloud. Executives leaned forward, eyes wide, unable to comprehend the scale of what they were seeing. John explained slowly, carefully. These fleets are not just scouting, they are judging. Every action we take, every signal, every communication will decide if they trust us or destroy us. His words hung heavy in the air. One executive scoffed. Why us? Why do they care about humans? John shook his head. They care because we are changing, because we can communicate, because we can learn. They see potential in us. They are not here to destroy. Yet, if we fail, they will not hesitate. The cube pulsed violently, and suddenly, a smaller alien figure appeared floating near the ceiling, its silver skin shimmering like liquid metal, eyes reflecting stars. It gestured to John, sending images directly into his mind, showing the consequences of failure. John gasped as he saw cities burning on distant planets, fleets annihilating everything in sight, innocent lives destroyed. And then he saw a glimpse of what could be if humans acted wisely, alliances forming, peace spreading, civilizations thriving together. The contrast was shocking. He turned to the executives, voice steady. We have a choice. We can panic and fail, or we can act with intelligence, courage, and unity. The aliens want to see if we are worthy. They are testing us, and this is our chance. Some executives paled. Others whispered nervously. The alien figure extended a glowing appendage toward John, sending a rush of knowledge into his mind. He saw codes, languages, and strategies, his brain absorbing every detail, understanding the complex patterns of interstellar diplomacy, warfare, and survival. John realized that his role had changed. He was no longer just a messenger. He was a strategist, a guide, a representative of humanity's intelligence and potential. And he felt the weight of billions of lives pressing down on him, yet he felt strength growing inside. A senior scientist asked cautiously, "How can one man know all this? How can we trust him?" John turned, eyes blazing. "It is not just me. It is humanity. Every person here, every choice we make. It matters. We are being observed, judged, by a race far beyond our understanding." His voice echoed with authority. The alien figure gestured again, showing a massive weapon being prepared on one of the approaching ships, capable of destroying entire continents. John's mind raced, calculating, translating the alien data, figuring out how to neutralize the threat without provoking aggression. Executives murmured in panic. "We cannot stop that. It is impossible." But John raised his hand, calm and commanding. "It is possible, if we act smart. If we use communication, not violence. If we show them we are intelligent." The tension in the room was electric. He activated the console, sending a carefully constructed signal, using the alien language, every symbol precise, every tone correct. It was a message of reason, of negotiation, of intelligence, showing that humanity could think, could learn, could coexist. The alien figure watched closely, eyes shimmering as if measuring every nuance, every vibration, every intention. John felt a connection, a silent agreement, that he was humanity's chosen bridge, the point where fear turned into understanding and chaos into order. Suddenly, a warning flashed on the holographic display, showing another fleet approaching, larger and faster, the stakes higher than ever. The executives froze, realizing that Earth's safety depended on John's ability to communicate, reason, and lead. John took a deep breath, feeling Lily's image in his mind, imagining her safe, imagining a future where humans were respected, not destroyed. And he whispered, "I will not fail. Not while hope still exists. Not while humanity has a chance." The alien figure pulsed softly, approving his resolve. The room remained silent, the glow of the cube filling every corner. John knew that the next moments would define the future. The revelation had come, but understanding it was only the beginning. The true challenge, the ultimate test of courage and intelligence, was yet to arrive. And so, the single dad, who had once only mopped floors, now stood as the representative of humanity, holding the knowledge of worlds, the fate of civilizations, and the power to change the galaxy. In his hands, the lab was silent, the glow of the cube reflecting in the wide eyes of executives and scientists. John stood tall, feeling the pulse of alien energy running through him. Every nerve alive with anticipation, he knew the test was coming. A sudden vibration shook the floor. The holographic display flickered, and outside the lab, the massive alien fleet shifted formations. Their weapons now pointed toward Earth, yet their scanners were studying the humans inside the building, analyzing reactions, gauging intelligence. One executive whispered, "This is insane. How can a janitor influence an alien fleet?" John ignored them, his focus entirely on the signals, the languages, the patterns only he could see. Every word from the cube translating into actionable knowledge. The alien figure appeared again, hovering above, its silver skin shimmering, eyes like galaxies. It spoke directly into John's mind. Prepare, test, humanity's worth, act, survive. John felt the words reverberate through him, filling him with both fear and determination. John turned to the team, voice firm. "This is not just about me. It is about all of us. About humanity. We have to prove we can act smart, communicate, and think beyond fear." Some executives nodded reluctantly, others remained skeptical, but John's authority was undeniable. The first challenge appeared on the display, a holographic simulation of a massive weapon aimed at Earth, a complex alien code protecting it, designed to prevent anyone from deactivating it. The cube pulsed, as if urging John forward, his mind already translating the alien logic. He typed symbols with precision, translating the alien code, inputting sequences faster than human hands should be able to move. Every pulse from the cube feeding him knowledge, guiding him through calculations, strategies, and alien algorithms. The executives leaned closer, unable to believe what they were seeing. John explained each step. "This is not luck. It is understanding. Understanding their thinking, anticipating their moves. We are showing them intelligence. That is the test." Their skepticism began to fade, replaced by awe. Suddenly, another fleet approached, cloaked, faster, more dangerous. The lab trembled as alerts flashed, warning systems screamed, yet John remained calm, hands steady on the console, translating alien signals, crafting responses, sending pulses of negotiation. A young engineer asked in awe, "How is he doing this? He's controlling everything." John glanced at him, eyes fierce. "I'm not controlling. I'm communicating, understanding, proving humanity is capable. That is what matters." The engineer nodded, inspired, hope growing in his chest. The alien figure gestured again, sending visions of potential disasters. If John failed, cities destroyed, fleets obliterated, populations annihilated, and then showed the outcome if he succeeded. Alliances forming, civilizations surviving, galaxies respecting humans. John felt the weight of billions of lives pressing on him, yet he also felt an extraordinary power, a clarity he had never known, knowledge flowing through him from the cube, the aliens, and his own instincts, every decision critical, every pause dangerous. Time seemed to stretch, the seconds heavy, every flicker of the hollow. Graphic display counting, he input sequences, sent signals, anticipated alien responses, and calculated human strategies, each moment a high-stakes battle of intellect, courage, and intuition. The executives and scientists watched in awe, some trembling, some holding their breaths, witnessing a single dad, a floor cleaner, navigating interstellar diplomacy and alien technology, proving that even the most overlooked human could rise to unimaginable challenges. Suddenly a warning flashed. One of the approaching alien ships was preparing a destructive beam aimed at a major city. The test had reached its climax. John's mind raced, translating the alien language at lightning speed, crafting a precise message of reason. He sent the pulse, clear, concise, showing intelligence, humility, and strategy. The alien ship paused, its beam retracting, scanning, assessing the human's response. The room held its collective breath, the fate of millions hanging in the balance. After tense moments, the alien figure pulsed brightly, signaling approval. A wave of energy filled the lab, calming nerves, confirming that humanity had passed the first part of the test. John exhaled slowly, feeling both relief and determination, knowing the challenge was far from over. The executive stared at him, now fully aware that the janitor was no ordinary man, but a bridge between species, a strategist, a hero, and a symbol of what humanity could achieve when courage, intelligence, and heart combined. John looked at the cube, then at the alien figure, whispering to himself, "We survived this part, but the real test is ahead. We must be ready. We cannot fail. Not now. Not ever." And the alien pulsed in acknowledgement, the silent promise of future trials looming. The lab was alive with tension, the glow of the cube casting long shadows across the walls. John stood at the center, eyes sharp, mind racing. He could feel the alien presence watching, waiting, testing humanity's courage and intelligence. Outside, the alien fleet hovered silently, massive and intimidating, scanning Earth, their formations precise, movements calculated, yet John felt a surge of confidence, knowing that his understanding of their language and intentions was the key to survival. Executives were gathered behind him, some fearful, some inspired, all realizing that the janitor they had once ignored now held the power to change the course of history, their skepticism replaced by awe. They watched every movement, every command. John turned to the console, sending out a complex signal in the alien language, every symbol precise, every frequency correct. He was negotiating, reasoning, proving to the aliens that humans were intelligent, capable, and worthy of respect. A sudden warning flashed across the display, showing a massive alien ship preparing a devastating attack. The fleet's sensors detecting humanity's defenses. The room trembled as alarms blared, yet John remained calm, hands moving with speed and precision. He translated alien communications, anticipating every reaction, calculating the perfect sequence of signals, his mind sharp, every second critical. The executives could only watch in amazement, realizing that this single dad was rewriting the rules of interstellar diplomacy. The cube pulsed brightly, feeding him energy, knowledge, and courage, visions of alternate futures flashing in his mind. Some dark and destructive, others bright and peaceful. He focused on the outcome that would save lives, inspire hope, and prove humanity's worth. John spoke aloud, voice steady. "We are not just survivors. We are thinkers. We are capable. We are ready to communicate, to cooperate, to protect." The words resonated through the room, filling hearts with courage and determination. The alien figure appeared again, larger this time, silver skin shimmering like liquid metal, eyes glowing like twin stars. It extended a hand toward John, sending a wave of energy that coursed through the lab, silencing alarms, calming fear, and focusing minds. Suddenly, a holographic image appeared, showing an alien weapon aimed at a city. Seconds from firing, John calculated, input precise signals, combining human technology with alien code, sending pulses that disarmed the weapon without triggering aggression. Executives gasped, some dropped their pens, some whispered urgently, How is he doing this?" John ignored them, focused entirely on the task, translating alien signals, anticipating every possible outcome, every failure, every consequence. The alien fleet shifted, scanning the signals, analyzing humanity's response. John sent another pulse, this one more powerful, showing intelligence, strategy, and respect, demonstrating that humans could think beyond fear, beyond survival, beyond themselves. The massive weapon paused, beams retracting, sensors calming, the fleet pulsed in recognition, a silent acknowledgement that humanity had passed the ultimate test. The tension in the room broke slightly, relief and awe mixing in every heart. John exhaled slowly, feeling the cube's energy fade gently, knowing the first victory was secured, yet aware that the journey was not over. Humanity had earned respect, but vigilance and wisdom would still be required. Executives stepped forward, now fully aware of John's importance, murmuring apologies and astonishment, some shaking hands, others simply staring, realizing that a single dad cleaning floors had saved millions, proved intelligence, and bridged worlds. John turned to them, voice calm but firm. This is not about me. It is about all of us. Humanity must act wisely together. We have shown them we can think, learn, and communicate. This is our chance. We must not fail. His words hung in the room, inspiring courage. The alien figure pulsed once more, a wave of light spreading through the lab, then slowly fading, leaving a sense of approval, respect, and possibility. John felt a deep connection, understanding that humanity had a future, yet only if it continued to act with intelligence and heart. He looked at the executives, then at the cube, whispering to himself, "We did it. We proved we are worthy. But this is only the beginning. Earth's place in the galaxy depends on what we do next." And with that, the lab quieted, the hum of possibility filling the air. And so, the single dad who had once only mopped floors had become humanity's hero, strategist, and bridge to the stars, showing that courage, intelligence, and heart could triumph even in the face of unimaginable power. The lab was quiet now, the glow of the cube fading slowly, leaving John standing among the executives and scientists, a sense of awe and disbelief hanging in the air. He felt the weight of what had just happened, yet also the power of possibility. Outside, the alien fleet hovered silently for a moment, then slowly began to move away, scanning Earth one last time, as if acknowledging the humans' intelligence, their restraint, and their courage. John could feel their respect even without words. The executives looked at him, now fully realizing the truth. The janitor, who had once been invisible to them, had bridged worlds, saved cities, and proved that even ordinary humans could rise to extraordinary challenges. Their disbelief had turned into admiration. John turned to the console, studying the holographic displays one last time, knowing that every signal sent, every pulse communicated had changed the course of humanity. He whispered softly, "This is just the beginning. We have shown we can rise." Suddenly, a message appeared on the cube, glowing brightly, the alien language flowing like liquid light. John understood it immediately, translating aloud, "Humanity proven, worthy, messenger honored, future uncertain, vigilance required." The words filled the sound, a room with awe. Executives and scientists exchanged looks, some whispering urgently, some wide-eyed, some shaking their heads in disbelief. John ignored them, focusing on the meaning, understanding that Earth had been accepted into a larger galactic community, yet the test was ongoing. He thought of Lily, his daughter, imagining her safe at home, unaware of the danger and the heroism unfolding above her head. He smiled faintly, knowing that the life he had struggled to provide had now given him courage, clarity, and purpose beyond anything he had imagined. A senior executive stepped forward, voice trembling. "John, we owe you everything. How can we ever repay you?" John shook his head, humble yet resolute. "There is no repayment, only responsibility. We all have a role. Humanity must act wisely, or we could fail next time." His words were firm, inspiring, and real. The cube pulsed one last time, then floated gently toward John, entering his hands, a symbol of trust, knowledge, and connection. He felt a wave of understanding, visions of distant planets, civilizations, and possibilities flowing through him. yet also a warning that vigilance was eternal. Suddenly, a flicker appeared on the holographic display, showing an unknown signal approaching Earth, faster and more precise than any fleet before. The room tensed immediately, but John remained calm, translating quickly. It is a scout, observing, not hostile, yet. We must remain alert. His calm confidence inspired the humans around him. The executives nodded, realizing that this was now humanity's responsibility. Their understanding had expanded beyond corporate profits. Earth's fate rested not just on technology, but on intelligence, courage, and unity. John had shown them the way. He turned to the window, looking at the night sky, countless stars shimmering, imagining billions of life forms watching, judging, waiting, and he whispered to himself, "We have a chance, and we must not waste it. Humans can rise. Humans can survive. Humans can thrive." A quiet determination filled his heart. As he stepped back, the alien figure appeared one last time, silver skin shining, eyes reflecting distant galaxies. It nodded toward John, a gesture of approval, of respect, and perhaps of hope, before slowly fading into light, leaving John standing in silence, humbled yet empowered. The executives finally broke the silence, murmuring among themselves, inspired, enlightened, and forever changed. John looked at them and said softly, "Remember, courage, intelligence, and heart. These are what define us, not position, wealth, or power." The message resonated through every person in the room. John left the lab that night, mop forgotten, carrying the cube carefully, a symbol of humanity's potential, walking through empty corridors, thinking of Lily, thinking of Earth, thinking of the galaxy, knowing that the world had changed and that he had changed with it. Outside, the stars shone brighter than ever, the alien fleet disappearing into the distance, Earth's place in the universe secured, yet the lessons remained, the challenge eternal, and the legacy of a single dad who cleaned floors yet spoke with aliens would inspire generations to come. And so, John, the single dad, the unlikely hero, became a symbol of hope, courage, and the power of intelligence, showing that even the smallest human, the most overlooked person, could rise to greatness, change the galaxy, and leave a legacy that would never be forgotten.